Thanks for coming back to my channel this week. And this week I want to play with my plants. A few weeks ago I did a plant tour which did really well, and a couple of these have needed repotting. And so I figured if you like the first one, you might like this one too. I've got plants that are rooting. I have plants that are clones. I have plants that I need to make into clones. And I have some violets that really just need some extra love right now. So the plants that I'm going to mess around with today, I have African violets in the front here. I have 3 of them. I have this guy right here who's getting out of control. This is my purple giant plant. I have these spider plant babies from my mother-in-law. These are variegated spider plants. That's why there's the white and the green. This China doll plant is very lanky, but that's what she is. This is my China doll plant. She needs to be transplanted into a bigger pot. And this is beautiful. My mom brought it up for me last weekend when she came to visit, and she told me to make her a plant. She's like, I don't know how you do that. Make me a plant. And so within like 2 days of getting this clipping and having it in water, all of these roots just started shooting out. And I mean, it's really beautiful. It's a variegated plant as well, but it's purple and green. Gorgeous. This other one is also from my mom, sweet story. She visited my papa's house. He's no longer with us, and some other gentleman owns it now, but he was nice enough to let my mom like take a look at the place and take a little souvenir. He had these plants. I don't know what it is. It looks like some type of vine. Again, variegated because it's got the white and the green. And so I've had it in water and I've got a couple little roots starting. Oh yeah, and these, you can't see them, but these are my shamrocks. And this is gonna be fun to do because we're gonna go, it's kind of like a hunt. I gotta look for their seeds, or they look like the tiniest pine cones ever. They're in here, then I break them apart and we repot them. So let's get started on these African violets, huh? So the problem with my violets is that I got too excited, basically. They were all this size. And so I put them in bigger pots and then they shrunk drastically. Now this one is big and healthy, and these are in desperate need of some help. So I need to put these in smaller pots. I've got my scissors here, and I did clean these with bleach. You want to be careful because of like bacteria and stuff for your plants. So what I'm gonna do here is just trim off any dead or droopy leaves. And you know, I might have to take this out to do the rest of it. I'm gonna hold on to this right here when I dump this over. Kind of loosen it with my fingers, pinch the bucket a little bit. I'm trying not to damage my roots. There we go. And then I'm just going to lightly get this dirt off and try to expose as much of the root as I can. All right, now with this exposed, I can see some of these petals that need a little bit more attention. There's like old stems in here from the flowers when the flower shoots come. So I'm just trimming some of those off. And I mean, some of the leaves are curled and that's fine. They're gonna plump back up when she's in better conditions. So I'm not gonna take too many more leaves off. Now, the rule with violets is you want the head to be about 2/3 larger than the pot that you're putting it in. And so since this is not very big, I think, well, I might need to go smaller than that. That might be the smallest one I have though. I think that should be okay. I'm gonna put it in this one. I'll just give you a close-up of this little guy here. That's what she looks like underneath. Now when I put this back in my pot, I believe I can just cover this. I'm not a violet expert, I'm just doing what I can do. But I'm gonna bury it up to about here. I have a couple different bags of dirt here, just regular indoor potting mix. And I also have orchid potting mix, which it's just really big chunky bark looking pieces. I like mixing that in for my violets, and I also like putting it on top of the plants. You can see there's just like big chunks of bark there. So since this is empty, I'm just gonna pour some new soil in there. Use that as my go-to bucket. And I am gonna wet that a little bit. Yeah, see, this orchid mix is fun. It's just real barky. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put some of this in the bottom. I'm gonna put a light layer of soil on it, pack it down. It's kind of tricky getting your soil underneath your violet leaves without getting your leaves dirty. I'm just taking small handfuls and going around the edges and lifting up the leaves and making sure that it's really pressed. I'm not packing it too tight, but I am packing it down enough so that when I go to water it, it's not going to completely sink and expose my violet after like a week. Now I also want a mix of soil and some of this orchid potting mix. I'm gonna put that down next. Lift up my little leaves here. Everything sticks to these leaves, so I just take a little brush, and after I'm done repotting them, I brush the soil off with a little paintbrush. When you're watering your violets, you don't water from the top. You definitely do not want to get water on the leaves. You'll get brown spots on the leaves, so you always water from the bottom. What I do is I just put a little bit of water in a saucer and let them set. If you are going to be home, and I usually water my plants on my way out the door. I'm like, oh, they need some water, and so I just put the smallest bit in here. But what you could do also is put water in here to cover the bottom, let them soak for an hour, and then take them out. You don't want to let them soak for more than that. An hour is enough water. We're gonna put it in this one, which this one's nice. It already has a spot. There's like a little spout, and to water it from the bottom. I don't see any leaves that I actually want to cut off to trash, but I do want to show you how to clone your violets. So I'm just gonna flip it over and take a leaf. We'll take that one. It's a nice healthy leaf. Cloning violets is so easy. I'm gonna take my mix here. It's got the orchid mix in there along with just regular potting soil. Make a hole. You take your cutting and you put it right in there, and you're gonna stick it in a plastic bag. You're not gonna close it. Just gonna put it in there. Try to make sure the leaf is not like touching the sides too much. Spray the inside of the bag like once or twice a week, and leave it in a windowsill that's facing the north or the east. The next thing I want to work on is this lovely spider plant. It's gonna get repotted into my porg here because I think it could use a really cool hairdo. Couple things about these. These are spider babies. These came from a plant much bigger than this, and these are the offshoots. You don't need to root them. You can just pop them in a planter full of soil and they will go nuts. But I rooted them because I wanted to save them for this video, and now all of their little roots are tangled. I'm going to just put the rest of this mix in here. And this is actually the stem from where you cut it off of the mother plant. Put it right there. And I'm just gonna start spooning soil in. Maybe. Kind of. It's hard because the head is very small. It's like a small hole to try to get all of this soil into, which is why I tried to get as much of it in there as I could before putting the plant in. This is actually running all of the dirt down his leaves and back into his head. Oh boy, oh boy. The porg is too cute with his new hairdo. Look, this baby has a baby. I'm gonna cut that off. I'm gonna cut this off. I'm gonna cut this off. I really hope this works. I'm just gonna put this little baby spider plant in the tiniest pot that I have. I hope that works. And the last one is pretty hefty, so we're gonna put it in a bigger one. All right, now before I call this specific one completely done, notice how the edges are brown. I let it get too dry. So that's my mistake. All I'm gonna do, I'm gonna clip these at an angle, so they still maintain having a point. All right, one more spray down. And that takes care of my spider plants. I'm gonna clean this up a little bit. While I have a nice clean surface here, I'm gonna work on my shamrocks. And what that means is I'm looking for the little shamrock cones. Like this. That's a shamrock cone. So there's one. Wow, look at how many of them there are. Well, those aren't hard to find at all. Yeah, sometimes I mix sand in my pots. It's good for drainage, depending on the type of soil you end up having. They look so creepy. It looks like a little alien or something. They're very creepy looking, or like little worms or something. I think that's all of them. They are very weird looking. I told you they remind me of pine cones. This one looks like a hand. Rawr. Yeah, they're kind of creepy, but they make beautiful little purple and green shamrocks. And I think we're gonna put them in here this time. Yeah? No. Ooh, let's put them in here. That's cute. Yeah, we'll put them in this one. Put some orchid mix on the bottom. Now what we're gonna do with these weird little shamrock pine cones, we're gonna break them up. And the big one here, you can break in half. If you just have one, you can break it in half or into thirds. Those little segments will shoot out roots. See, look, oh my goodness. This is so cool, guys. That's a shamrock sprout. How cool is that? So we will be sure to plant this one facing up. That one we're gonna save and plant it right in the middle. But all of these, how many do we get? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. I think there's like 25. I'm just gonna, boop, plant them shallow. They don't need to be like real deep or anything. Just put them under the surface a little bit. This one's sprouting too. That's so cool. I'm not gonna pack it down. I'm just gonna put the bark on top. now we can use this pot for this baby. Yup. Now what I just want to do here is make sure I'm not cutting off the new roots. So there's the old roots, but it shot a new root from here. I don't want to cut that. I do want to get rid, oh, and there's another root right here. So next, I'm gonna work on this China doll plant. All I know about this plant is what's on this little tag, and I keep this little tag, I don't know why. It says much light. She needs a lot of light. I give her a lot of light. It's so leggy and it doesn't do a good job of standing up on its own. See, like if I take this out, if I let that go in a day, it's gonna topple over. So I have this stick. Before I repot her, I wanna get all the little dead leaves off. She's got quite a few. This plant really makes me so nervous. I've tried to propagate it where you just take a clipping and root it in some water, and it rooted, but then it died. This is a finicky plant, so I don't really do anything with it. I'm kind of scared to see what this is gonna look like. This has basically been in the same pot since I got it. Oh my goodness. It has the shape of the bottom of the pot. There's that little X, and we've got a little X. I think she's gonna be much happier in this bigger pot. That's pretty good. We're gonna call that a win. Get this out of the way, get the new pot in here. Let's see, how deep is that? Oh my gosh, that's perfect. Yep, now I just need to pile the soil on. Ah! All right, I'm gonna go ahead and soak the bottom of this. We got the tree here. Now that the tree is out of here, the next babe I'm gonna do is this one right here. I have no idea what this plant is. If any of you know, please let me know. Probably a type of ivy, the way it's growing. I just want to know what kind of ivy because it is beautiful. I am not really sure what to do with this one. I made a bunch of clones of it once. All the clones died. This is turning into an amazing vine in just a few short weeks. It did not look like this a couple weeks ago. So I think I am going to clip it off right where it's bending. And I'm going to turn that into two. Cut off some of these leaves at the bottom here. I'm going to drop this one in some water. A couple leaves off the bottom. Drop that in the water. And stick this in my windowsill, and in about 2 or 3 weeks there'll be roots on that. I'm gonna get the dead leaves off. There seem to be quite a few. Sorry, buddy, I have neglected you for a little bit. We're gonna try for the purple giant in here, because hopefully in a few weeks I'll have roots on the other ones, and then I can just put all 3 of them in here. Because the purple giant's leaves are sort of velvety, like the African violets, I do my best to not get water on the leaves. I don't want them to brown. Just a quick update before the video's completely over. It's been about 2 weeks and look at these beautiful little shamrocks. So cute. Nothing yet on my little violet. That one takes a while. But my purple giant has rooted very nicely in my kitchen window. I'm going to take care of her pretty soon. And my little buddy's still hanging on. Yep. That's just a quick update. Bye! Well guys, that's all I have for this week's video. I hope you enjoyed it. I know I feel so much better getting some of these little babies potted up. These violets, ooh, they needed some attention. And I don't know, it's just relaxing playing with plants for a few hours. So I hope you guys learned some stuff. Maybe in the comments you can teach me some stuff, especially about this China doll here, because what am I supposed to do with this? If you like this week's video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. I put out new videos every Sunday. And until next week, keep on marching to the beat of your own drum. Peace.